You found Hawaii Matters, and I'm your host, Kathy with a K. The humble ukulele for our guests, Roy and Kathy Sakuma. It was and remains a musical instrument like no other. According to legend, a teenaged Roy Sakuma heard an instrumental song on the radio, and I love that it was on the radio, that inspired him to take up the instrument and learn from one of the world's greatest ukulele masters himself. The Sakumas have steadily grown their love of live ukulele music into the annual Ukulele Music Festival, which celebrated 51 years in 2022. And in 2024, the Roy Sakuma Ukulele Studios turned 50 with 4 locations on Oahu, and Aiea, Mililani, Kaneohe, and Kaimuki. 2022 was the 52nd. 52nd. And this year marks the 20th anniversary of their nonprofit foundation, Ukulele Festival Hawaii.
Yes.
20th?
20th.
Founded in 2004.
Yeah,
Founded
that's
in
right.
2004.
Yeah.
Yes.
To bring public awareness and interest in the ukulele as an instrument of virtuoso quality, promoting Hawaii's arts and culture through education, scholarships, and the annual free ukulele festivals, which are also on the neighbor islands. I wish I had written that. I copied and pasted from the official website, roysakuma.net. Roy and Kathy Sakuma, welcome.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Kathy.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so
How has
much.
2024 been so far?
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's been wonderful because we have an opportunity now. When we ended our Ukulele Festival Hawaii officially in 2022, the 52nd annual Ukulele Festival Hawaii, it was our wish that now that there would be many ukulele festivals in Hawaii, in our communities, not just once a year, but a lot more active in festivals. And this year, they are going to have an ukulele festival at Kapiolani Park, same place that we had it in July, the same time that we had it. The International Ukulele Festival of Hawaii, the organizers asked us for their help, which is what we want to do.
Yes.
We have so many lessons learned over 52 years that we're happy to help anybody with their event. And so that's what we're doing this year. So it's been a really nice experience, and we get to participate. Our studio students, our ukulele studio students, we get to go as guests for the first time and just go
Yes.
and we're really excited about that.
Yeah, it's wonderful, And after planning it all these years, now we just go there and relax and perform.
And enjoy the event, yeah.
Will you each be performing and picking up an ukulele? Or are you saying in the very general sense, like we, being Roy Sakuma Ukulele Studio students?
The students. We always
Yes.
want to feature the students.
Always showcase
From the very beginning.
the kids, the young kids, and our big kids. Our big kids are the senior.
Senior
Adults.
citizens, senior adults. And they all enjoy performing. That's the beauty of it, They come together and everyone enjoys.
Roy Sakuma, of all the songs on the radio, it was Herb Ota-san's Sushi that grabbed your attention as a teenager. And soon after, you sought ukulele instruction from him. How were those early lessons, and how did that prepare you to become a teacher soon after?
Well, first of all, I have to say that I had no musical sense, no musical ability. To give you an idea, my sister used to get a pot and a stick, and she used to say, hit the pot and keep the beat to the radio. And I couldn't. I had no sense of rhythm. And that's why I couldn't learn to play the ukulele. But fortunately, when Ota-san said he would teach me, he didn't tell me, okay, play. He taught me how to read the music, like from piano music, and how to transfer that music to the ukulele. It was perfect for me because I could understand the music, because it's similar to math. And that gave me a start in learning how to play. And the other great thing about my teacher is that he was a former sergeant in the Marines. So he was strong and disciplined. And I needed that because I was such a kolohik, such a rascal kid. And so he gave me the discipline that I needed in those early lessons to focus and to really learn how to play the ukulele. So I was very fortunate to have him for a teacher. As time went on, I think I learned from him for 18 months, and he finally told me, Roy, you're going to have to leave. And I said, why? He told me that What took him 5 years to learn, I had learned it in 18 months. So he told me, go on my own and develop my own playing style. And I was so sad. I was so sad to leave him. But fortunately, 6 months later, he called me up and says, you want to come to the studio and help me? I said, sure, what do I have to do? So apparently he started an ukulele class on Saturday mornings, all adults. All I had to do was tune the adults, and he taught. So it's fine. I tuned the adults. Right after the lesson, he tells me, Roy, I'm going to Japan. You teach. And I was shocked because I don't know how to teach. But I practiced at home speaking to the walls every day for hours because I was so nervous. But by the time I went in front of those adults to teach, I was so comfortable. And when he returned 2 weeks later, he asked me, how did you like it? And I said, I loved it. And then he told me, would you like to teach my students? And I said, yes. And that's how I got my start into teaching. Not only did I learn to play the ukulele from him, but he gave me my start in teaching, and that became my lifelong passion, teach others how to play the ukulele, especially children.
What is it about instruction that you find inspiring to continue to welcome students of all ages? Because not everybody can teach, but you're able to, create the Roy Sakuma ukulele instruction. Like there's an actual way of unfolding it. Kathy, were you an ukulele player before you met Roy?
No.
What was your journey?
My journey. Well, meeting Roy and then his love for the ukulele, it was unusual. It was kind of like, okay, kind of thing, But that's what he did. Okay. That's what he loved. Eventually, when we got married, then I graduated from the University of Hawaii, and I got my job, my full-time job, and soon after we both realized that we were both going to quit our job so we could devote 100% of our time on teaching. That's how it started. I didn't know anything about the ukulele, and I just went there to help in the beginning days. Tell me what to do. Just tell me what to do, and I can assist you. So Roy was basically a one-man operation at that time. Slowly, kids started coming. And I remember, early on him saying, I've got to figure out a way to pass on this joy of the ukulele to the kids. But there comes a point where they start stopping, because initially it was learning to read musical notation. So Roy devised this brilliant way of changing that musical notation into the alphabets, which is the first thing the children learn, your ABCs. Suddenly, it just opened up everything. You could see the transition we could teach little 5-year-olds to pick Twinkle, Twinkle, because in the 70s, we were strumming, but Roy wanted to teach them Otsusan style of picking. And I think that was just the beginning, and that's how it just evolved.
That method which he's talking about is, when you take a musical score like from a piano sheet, teaching the children that it's not an easy process to identify the notes and figuring it out. As my wife mentioned, I took those notes, identified it by the letters of the alphabet using capital and lower notes. And then on a manual typewriter, because we didn't have computer back then, I would type out the notes. And now, how can I include the rhythm that you see on a piano sheet? So then I use the dashes for like eighth notes, the equal signs for 16. I use the slashes for strum, the dots for rest. In a matter of no time, I was able to take a musical score from the piano, transfer it to the way that I wanted to teach. And you could put an instructor on a song they never heard and a piano player on a piano sheet music, and they would play it exactly the same in rhythm. And so I had perfected a method that it was so successful that we've never changed. Till this day, we teach that method. We can teach anyone to play the ukulele.
And if anybody listening now claims that they devised it, how very dare you? This is Hawaii Matters. My name's Kathy with a K, and I'm sitting with Roy and Kathy Sakuma, and we're talking about the ukulele music And ultimately, it's community, mentorship, and volunteering. The two of them have been able to open the minds and hearts of many through ukulele lessons and music, not only through the Ukulele Festival Hawaii, but through just various associations through the seasons. Kathy Sakuma, you had shared about how you discovered the ukulele and about the so-so enthusiasm that your husband has, but it eventually it grew within you to also fall in love with the instrument. Who were early mentors for each of you that helped shape your approach to creating the Ukulele Festival Hawaii, the Roy Sakuma Ukulele Music Studios, the Ukulele Festival Hawaii Foundation?
Everything that we do is because of people who supported us, mentored us, because the ukulele, there was no pre-plan. Prior to that, there was nothing to follow. It was something so new. Teaching ukulele, nobody was teaching ukulele and putting on the festival. In the beginning, the festival was the parents just came out that morning with all the leis, and we didn't even tell them how to decorate the stage. They just came and took over.
Yeah.
In those days, Kapiolani Park, it's not how it is today. It was just a park. So after the 2-hour concert, people would actually just picnic in the park. There weren't food booths, and it was just a really nice family gathering. Kids go to the beach across the street or the Honolulu Zoo on the other side. That's how it all started, and every year it grew, and parents just volunteered. When they renovated the bandstand, this beautiful showcase of a stage and with benches, it just evolved. It just changed everything. Everything got bigger, and we got food booths and everything. But as it evolved, even people would just come out and say, what can we do to help? I think it's because ukulele was such a unrecognized instrument, and it wasn't how it is today. Now it's wonderful, the recognition it's getting, but back in those days it was like everybody said, what can we do to help? Sponsors did it, family, friends, and then once they got the bug, they wanted to come back every year and help out.
I had to go back to when I first started the Ukulele Festival. My job was, I was a parkskeeper cleaning the bathrooms in the park. And one day at lunch, I sat there, I looked at the bandstand, and I said, my dream is to put on an ukulele festival. And someone overheard me mumbling, and they said, dreams come true. And it really hit me. And so I went to City Hall, and I said, how can I put on an ukulele festival? So they directed me to Information Office of Complaints, There I met a gentleman named Maroni Maderas. And when he heard what I wanted to do, I didn't know at that time he was a musician that played the guitar and sang. He was so interested in what I was doing. He says, Roy, I'll help you. With his mentorship, I was able to put on the first annual Ukulele Festival at Kapiolani Park with him guiding me. He even helped to MC. He became truly one of the great mentors of my life. And when Kathy met, we became so close to him because he was such a loving, he had such a beautiful passion for music. That was the first mentor that helped us with the Ukulele Festival. And as the years went by, as Kathy said, as the Ukulele Festival grew, I have to share something. It started off, just a festival. Eventually, it included food booths because it was her idea. If you're going to have all these people come, and now that the festival has been 3-4 hours long, we should have food booths. We put in food booths. Then she sees all these children with the families. They're hanging around, there's music for 4 or 5 hours. She's thinking, what can I do for the children? So then she comes up with this idea. Let's have a coloring booth and give away ukuleles every hour. Let's have a Lego contest. Eventually she came up with that. She said, we need more. She puts in a sliding, like a slider for the kids, then a bouncing place where the kids can go inside and bounce that you see at carnivals. And then a second stage where there's music and people can relax under a huge tent. All this was her ideas to me, see. And I'm thinking, can we do this? But it all came to fruition. Her ideas, because her heart was always with the children and the people. What can we do to enhance our event, to bring the joy of families coming together, which was my original desire, to bring children and families together to enjoy the music. So a lot of that credit goes to her for making all these dreams of mine come true. She's been a big inspiration.
Well, the kids were the main
The
stars of the show from day one. They were like the biggest supporters. They're the ones who just really exuded all that joy of the ukulele and went out there, and people they felt that joy of what the kids, because they're so pure, and it didn't matter how they played. They just played. They loved it. They're going to come out, and then more and more kids started coming out with the families. They said, what can we do for these families? In those days, no local people would come out to Waikiki and drive through the traffic, but they did. So what can we do to make it more worth their while? It ended up being a nice family event where they kind of hung out. They didn't just come to perform. And it was nice for the tourists who were in Waikiki and they kind of happened to stumble upon the event. It was a showcase of the ukulele, but they could be among the local people at the same time. All the ukulele makers came out. Kamaka, Koloha, Kanilea. Everybody came out,
from the mainland. And one of the things that we really want to thank is, all those sponsors. And over the years, we've had many different corporate sponsors that would take the title sponsorship to help us. It started way back with our friends from Corrine and Dave from
Appliance Parts.
Starbucks helped us. The Sheraton Hotels was a title sponsor. About 10, 12 years ago, I had a meeting with Tony Group Autoplex, and Stan Masamicha said, Roy will help you. And their sponsorship really helped us to continue to maintain our event, because our event is free. Everything is free. There's no admission, nothing. That helped us. Eventually, we were able to, if you can visualize where KCC is, we would rent a big portion of the parking lot, and then we'd hire tour buses, like 3 or 4 of them, and they rotate constantly from Diamond Head to the park continuously. It encouraged everybody to park their cars, jump into those air-conditioned buses, and come to the event. So it really was a huge success in doing that.
It was so big. We couldn't have done it with all the people who supported us.
All the sponsors,
MCs,
Danny.
Roy Sakuma and Kathy Sakuma. This is Hawaii Matters. My name's Kathy with a K. And Roy Sakuma is about to share a memory, a thought about Danny Kaleikini, who for a few decades was the MC of the Ukulele Music Festival at Kapiolani Park.
Early on, I told Kathy, we need to get an MC that can really hold the crowd together. And I said, gee, I wish we could get Danny Kaleikini. And she says, well, why don't you call him? Great idea. His show starts at 9 o'clock. 10 to 9, I call the Kahala Hilton. I said, can I have Danny's dressing room? And the person says, oh, Danny's not here. Call back. I call back 5 minutes to 9. Oh, Danny's not here. Call back. I call like 1 minute before 9 when the show starts. Oh, is Danny Kaleikini there? I say, oh, yeah, hold the line. Danny, telephone. Well, I figured I had 1 minute. Danny, my name is Roy Sakuma. I wanted to put on the girl. I said, so wait, what is this? Brother, take your time. I try to explain a little bit, and he says, come tomorrow morning for breakfast. Come to the Kahala Hilton. I'm shocked. I'm going to meet Danny Kaleikini, this superstar. So I go there for breakfast. I sit down with him. By the time we finished breakfast, he shook my hand. He said, brother, I'll be your MC. I was floored. Danny, ever since that ukulele festival, he has helped us every single year. What an amazing man. He was always there for us. He has such a legacy in Hawaii, an incredible man. But that story, I will never forget how his heart just reached out to us.
That's so great to point out that the ukulele, it can be so much more than what the first impression is, that it continues to be developed and evolving. This is Hawaii Matters. My name's Kathy with a K. We're talking mentorship, the ukulele, and volunteering in Hawaii with the Sakumas, Roy and Kathy Sakuma. You were talking about how, first and foremost, it's about families and children when it comes to the ukulele. What are your impressions now that Roy Sakuma Ukulele Studios celebrating 50 years in 2024? When you look back and consider all the students and the lessons and the evolution of how from one studio, now 4, What is that like? What are the kids like that come through? The lesson plan continues to be the same.
Yeah.
Well, how do you feel about what's been built so far?
Go ahead.
It's almost like not feeling. It's like it just happened. When 2024 came, we didn't plan that it was the 50th. And it's when it came, we realized, hey, this is our 50th. I think we need to do something. You don't think about those things. It just happens, you know. When we ended our event, the Ukulele Festival Hawaii event, we didn't get to celebrate the 50th because of COVID. That would have been a milestone, huge celebration. We were planning to thank everybody for their participation, the mark that they made in the event. That never happened. By 2022, COVID was still around. I said, Roy, your dream came true, so we can end the festival. And it's time for, anybody to put on, like the young ones, they can do it. Let them, take over. It's
Yeah.
so popular now, which is wonderful.
It's impressive that
Yeah.
you did the first year in 1971. That you were just so excited about it. That's just like, let's just do the first annual. I don't know if that was optimism or if it was just like, that's what you call it when you throw something. First annual, they'll come back. We'll meet here next summer, kind of thing.
I know that's something that I think you or someone asked me, what made you call it first annual? I said, I don't know, but it was a blessing because now I could build on the first annual and keep on going. And there's so many things that that we think of after all these years, and like Kathy said, the memories, the stories, all the people that helped us. It's really been a wonderful journey. It was never like work or like, oh God, why we got to do this for 'em? It was the joy of putting it together. It was the joy of bringing families together.
When you look back now, you think about, I can remember now, it must have been the 1990s when it really shifted. Only when I think back, I can see it, but at the time it's happening, you don't recognize it. You're just doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really different now, which is wonderful. I said, Roy, we get to see the, fruition, to see the ukulele recognized. And that was the goal, was to give this tiny little instrument that was considered a toy, and people would kind of like turn away from it, but now people embrace it and love it, and that's the great thing.
This is Hawaii Matters. I'm Kathy with a K, talking with Roy and Kathy Sakuma. What superpowers did all of these projects and events unlock in each of you? Discovered that you had no idea you had the reservoir for?
Well, for me personally, in the 1980s, I would be invited to schools to demonstrate the ukulele, and I'd go on stage and play for the kids 2, 3, 4, 5 songs, and just have a happy time with the kids in schools. One year, I was teaching a third grade teacher, and she said, "Can you come to my school and play for the kids?" I said, "Sure." I went to the school, and I played 1 or 2 songs, and I played the song that I wrote. And that opened the door for kids to start raising their hand and ask questions. I didn't play the ukulele the rest of that time because I was answering their questions. Well, then I left. I said, okay, that was fun. About a week later, I come home and my wife says, Roy, read these letters. It was letters from that third grade class thanking me for visiting their classroom. In the past, Kathy, all the letters were like, thank you for playing the ukulele. But these letters were specifically talking about thank you for sharing da-da-da-da-da, and it helped us to understand our feelings. The letters were so powerful that Wayne Harada, the advertiser, picked up those letters and did a full-length article on them. This was way back. That opened the door for teachers and principals to call me and say, we'd like you to come to the school and speak about what these letters are talking about. So it opened a whole new world for me, which I love, was going to schools and helping children through their struggles. And I still do this because it's getting difficult for kids. And so the talk helps them to understand that they can let go a lot of the things that they're holding in them. And the song that I end with, and I sang for those third graders, was a song called I Am What I Am.
I was just thinking about that song this week, and I started getting emotional remembering the lyrics and its simplicity, yet it's very constant. No matter what age, it's like
Yes.
kudos, hat tip.
And just the chorus line, it's very simple. It's, I am what I am, I'll be what I'll be. Look, can't you see that it's me, all of me? I am what I am, I'll be what I am. And for those of you that are really interested in the song, it is on iTunes, I Am What I Am. It's on our website too, I think, yeah. When you look at the lyrics, like you said, it really, we're all okay, we're special, but many times we don't think like that, So I enjoy going to the schools and helping kids.
Oh, I don't know superpowers. I'm just really happy to see where the ukulele is now. I'm happy to see all the young people coming up and promoting the ukulele and taking it to, even bigger horizons. So for me, that's really exciting to see.
If I may share one more thing, I'm not trying to toot my horn, but because of all these talks, I was contacted by the FBI in 2014 to help them because there was a lot of kids they were trying to help, and they were prone to not completing what the FBI was helping them with. So can you come and be one of our speakers? So in 2014, I would go, and once a year, I would speak to about 125 kids. In 2017, they surprised me. They actually flew me and my wife. We were flown to Washington, D.C. to receive an award from the FBI director, James Comey. And the award was because 45% of the kids they were trying to help would drop out. But when I went there to help them speak, they said that the graduation rate went to 98%. The person that was working with me said that what you were saying in your talk had helped them move out the things that they were dwelling on, which was not really a part of their life. Now they could focus on the positive things. And that's what it's all about. That's why I have this passion to keep on helping people, especially children.
Roy Sakuma, Kathy Sakuma. This is Hawaii Matters. I'm Kathy with a K. You can go to roysakuma.net for information about taking ukulele lessons, finding out other events. Who are the people that maybe you want to acknowledge?
First of all, I'd like to thank all the sponsors. Many of the sponsors, in fact, most of them were all friends, people that just wanted to help us. And they helped us every year because they believed in what we were doing. It was the heart that we had for others. Right? So many people, like Stan Masamitsu from Tony Group Auto Players, Mike Irish from Hom's Kimchi, and Dwight Otani from Otani Produce, Robin Yoshimura, all these people, and Charlie Ching, my dear friend, who put us all together to help.
Just personal friends, just friends from all aspects of our life. They all came in to pitch in, and our staff of instructors, I always thought our staff of instructors coming every year to the festival, they were like the unsung heroes.
Oh, yes.
Because they organized, they helped set up everything and break down everything at the end, and they organized hundreds of kids. They did all the behind the scenes work.
A lot of them, after they left the company because they got married and had children of their own, they still come out every year to help us. Every year they're there helping us at the festival. One helped us until she was in her 60s. That's the type of relationships we had with all our employees. When they left us, it still was there to continue to help us through all these years. And even this year, when we were going to the festival, we needed help from not just our staff. So many of our former instructors, they're all coming out to help. It's such a blessing.
I think it's a real testament to the ukulele, Hawaii's beloved instrument, that this little tiny instrument can bring people together. Like our mission was laughter, love, and hope. That's what that tiny little instrument brings to people of Hawaii and the world.
I love how it comes back to the ukulele. It always goes back to the ukulele. Thank you to our guests, Roy and Kathy Sakuma. For more on their various events and projects, please visit online roysakuma.net. And to replay and share this episode, search Hawaii Matters on most podcast platforms. For Pacific Media Group, I'm Kathy with a K. Mahalo.